Okay, imagine this scenario. You suddenly get a pile of cash, a windfall. What happens next? Well, for a surprising number of people, that money just vanishes. Not because of bad math,
Yeah.
necessarily.
It's often down to bad decisions, looking
Ex-
over your shoulder maybe.
Exactly. And that brings us to what we're digging into today, this core idea that managing money well isn't really about spreadsheets or complex formulas. It's deeply psychological. It's about managing yourself.
Precisely. And that's the heart of Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money. It's fantastic. So today we're doing a deep dive into it.
Yeah, we want to pull out those key behavioral insights, the things that really make the difference in financial success.
Our mission really is to show you why things like patience, like keeping your cool emotionally, why they matter so much more than just being smart or, frankly, getting lucky, especially now in, the kind of financial world we're in for 2025.
And this is super relevant for you listening. We're not picking stocks here. We're talking about how your own mind, how you handle your impulses, how that shapes your financial future.
Okay, let's unpack Housel's main argument then. He basically says, look at the big financial winners. They're often not the math whizzes. They're the ones who are just incredibly consistent with their behavior. Success hinges more on psychology than anything else.
It's fascinating how he lays it out, almost like a timeless checklist for behavior. And number one, arguably the most critical, is patience is the king of wealth.
Yeah.
Real wealth, the lasting kind. It comes from long-term, steady investing. Consistency. It's got almost nothing to do with those huge risks or get-rich-quick schemes you see everywhere.
And that's all about compounding, isn't it? That exponential growth where your money starts making money for you. It's not linear.
Exactly right. Housel really hammers this home. The biggest results often just come down to time, letting things grow. But, here's the pushback you hear today.
With inflation so high, markets bouncing all over. Doesn't just sitting patiently feel like you're, losing money passively?
That's a great question. It feels like you have to do something right now.
And that feeling, that urge to act, is precisely what Housel warns against. The damage from inflation, while real, is often way less than the damage you do trying to time the market, usually because you're scared or panicking.
So patience is like a psychological shield.
Yeah, exactly. It stops you from messing up the compounding.
Which leads perfectly into the second big point, and oh boy, is this one relevant today. The comparison trap. Housel basically says, don't compete. It's financial self-sabotage.
It really is. Because look, there's always going to be someone richer, someone with a bigger house, faster car, whatever.
Always.
And when you start measuring your own success by what others have, you're basically signing up for the hedonic treadmill.
Yeah.
You get a bump, feel good for 5 minutes, then you just want the next thing.
It's never enough,
Yeah.
and that comparison feeds greed, right? And greedy decisions are usually reckless ones.
We see this play out constantly. Think about it. Person A sees everyone bragging online about some, meme stock or crypto coin doubling overnight.
Yeah, FOMO kicks in hard.
Totally. So they dump their savings in. Pure greed, pure comparison. Versus person B, who just methodically saves, diversifies, sticks to a plan for decades. Doesn't need to be a millionaire tomorrow.
And person B almost always wins in the long run. It's behavior over impulse.
Right. But then there's the stuff you can't control. Housel makes a big point about understanding luck and risk.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge chance, right? Success isn't all down to you.
It's a dose of humility we all need. Honestly, if you look at the really extreme financial outcomes, massive success or total wipeout, there's usually extreme luck involved, good or bad.
Recognizing that helps, doesn't it? You don't worship the winners quite so much or blame the losers entirely.
Exactly. It helps you focus on what you can control, your own behavior, your reactions, not just the outcome.
And this ties into how Housel defines real wealth. He argues that simplicity is satisfaction. True wealth isn't about flashing expensive stuff.
No, it's about having a balanced life and, crucially, freedom. The freedom to decide what you do with your time. That's the real prize.
Which all rests on that behavioral foundation, taming greed and fear. You mentioned emotional decisions are bank account killers.
They absolutely are. Being aware of those emotions, greed when things are hot, fear when they crash, and consciously managing them, that's what separates the winners from the cautionary tales.
Okay, let's shift a bit. Talk about the book itself. It landed in 2020 and just exploded.
Right.
Why do you think it resonated so much then? What was missing from traditional finance talk?
Well, traditional finance often talk about the ideal investor, right? This perfectly rational being.
The economic man.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But Housel wrote for, actual humans. Flawed, emotional, easily swayed by what others are doing. He used simple language, cut through the jargon, and basically said, look, you don't need a PhD in finance. You just need to avoid doing really dumb things driven by emotion.
It kind of gave people permission to just be calm and sensible, didn't it? Especially as all that noise, the early social media hype around investing, was starting to get loud.
Definitely. But connecting that to today, the world's changed a lot since 2020. The pressures on us as individuals trying to manage money in 2025 feel even more intense, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. We've got new layers of challenges now. First off, social media isn't just hype anymore. It's like influencers and crypto fever are everywhere.
Right in your pocket, yeah.
Constant temptation, highly emotional ads promising the moon, pushing you towards quick, often bad decisions. It really plays on that greed factor.
And that feeds right into the second challenge, hyper access to investment. Trading apps have made it incredibly easy to buy and sell anything instantly.
Which sounds good, like democratization.
And in some ways it is. But the downside is it encourages people to act like day traders with zero experience.
Yeah.
If you can shift your life savings into some volatile thing with 3 taps on your phone.
You're more likely to do it impulsively, reacting to a headline or a tweet much faster than, say, calling a broker used to be.
Way faster.
Huh.
And the potential for disaster is higher. Then there are the changing goals.
Yeah.
You mentioned new expectations.
Yeah, particularly with younger generations, Gen Z, maybe even Gen Alpha coming up. They seem focused more on financial freedom and having meaningful lives, not just piling up the maximum amount of cash.
The goalposts are shifting. It's less about the mansion, more about having options, controlling their time. Work-life balance is huge.
And layered over all of that is just the sheer global volatility. Inflation's been a beast, there's geopolitical uncertainty, big economic shifts. It makes that core household principle of patience, of thinking 10, 20, 30 years ahead, well, it makes it harder.
It really does. Which raises the big question, how do we take these timeless psychological principles and actually apply them effectively when everything feels like it's moving at lightning speed? We have to consciously adapt them, right? Figure out how households' wisdom helps us navigate this specific, noisy, volatile environment.
So we need an updated playbook for 2025. Okay, first point. Even with AI and fancy trading bots, you still need a long-term view. That hasn't changed.
Not at all. Algorithms are tools, but money vanishes fast if you're just chasing short-term gains. Look at the really successful long-term investors, like Buffett. They still win with that old formula: consistency, time. Patience has to be part of your strategy, even with all the tech.
And we need to be clear on what we're aiming for. You keep circling back to this, and it feels critical. Freedom is the ultimate metric.
It really is. True wealth today isn't just about what you own. It's about not being forced to do work you hate just to pay for stuff you don't need. Having choices, controlling your schedule, that's worth way more than status symbols.
Okay, next. Be mindful, not emotional. This feels like active defense now, since social media and ads are constantly poking at our greed and fear.
We use filters, strong ones. It means making your big financial decisions about saving, investing when you're calm and rational. Like schedule it. Monday morning maybe, not Friday night when the market's going nuts or you just saw someone's crypto gains post.
Decide consciously, don't just react.
Exactly. And you know what becomes a real advantage in this climate? Simplicity.
House.
Well, in a world where everyone feels pressure to show off every purchase, every trip, just managing your resources wisely, living a balanced, maybe simpler life, that signals control, discipline. It also lowers the need for those crazy high returns right now, which takes the pressure off making emotional trades.
Makes sense. It dials down the internal noise, too. And finally, given the economy, we have to plan for shocks.
Absolutely essential now. With inflation, potential recessions, job market shifts, you need financial armor. That means a solid emergency fund, first and foremost, and a financial plan that's built to withstand bumps in the road, whether that's a global crisis or something personal.
Reading House, it really felt like holding up a mirror. The insight that hit me hardest was just how tightly linked my own emotional state is to my bank account. I remember a while back being so tempted to jump into this high-risk thing everyone was talking about. Pure FOMO.
Yeah. What did you do?
I stuck with the boring, slow path. And honestly, the peace of mind I got from that choice, a choice driven by discipline, not excitement, that was worth more than any potential quick return.
And that's the core lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
That tranquility, that freedom from constant financial worry, that's real wealth. In this crazy, noisy 2025 world where quick results are always being dangled in front of you, taking the slow, simple, patient route, it actually takes more conscious effort now, more behavioral discipline than ever.
So the big takeaway, financial success. It's fundamentally about behavior, patience, simplicity, keeping your emotions in check, much more than it is about complex math. If you want to navigate 2025 successfully, you've got to be more conscious, less reactive. So here's something for you to think about this week, a final thought to chew on. Can you recall a time in your own financial life where your psychology, your behavior, maybe fear, maybe greed, maybe just impatience was really the deciding factor in how things turned out, more so than the numbers themselves? Reflect on that. Until our next deep dive, manage your money intelligently and try to live calmly.